absolutely, you're correct there.
Yeah.
But you know what I don't like about school? Not even necessarily about school. What I don't, what teachers at school, what they do, especially when you go into secondary school, like from year 9, year 10, 11. That's when things probably get a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
I feel like teachers, they should also tell the kids as well, like even though like cool, like education is important. Like they should also remind them, like enjoy your time at school, like you said. But I feel
absolutely.
like teachers like really like make kids like make them feel like as if you fail or whatever, even though it's their job. I feel like there needs to be a balance there because
they go too hard on the education aspect instead of living.
Exactly. Rather than having that balance to be like, look,
That
obviously
balance.
do your best with whatever you can with GCSEs and whatever, but like you said, enjoy it
there.
and
I
continue.
do think you're right.
But what specifically got you into like criminology? Like what made you like want to study that specific subject? Why?
My background, so because of the support that I felt I didn't get, which I realised while I was doing my undergrad, like I was thinking, I didn't realise that these support services were out there, and it's not until you start to engage with those people or
in those circles,
those circles or those organisations. Okay, if you was here before, maybe things would have turned out different for myself.
Real talk.
So I started to think about other women. At first, it was just other women in general and their lived experience of the criminal justice system. Is it similar to mine, especially women in my age group? And then I started to think, no, is it black women? There's something here about black women and getting the support that they need, and that support being tailored to meet their needs. And this started to come out of all the literature.
Well said, man. I'm not gonna lie, right? Jeez.
Started to come out of all the literature that I was reading. Like I started to identify that there was a gap. Yes, there's support out there, but there's support out there for women that don't look like me. Yeah. I think the transition for me, and it still took a couple years after that, is the situation with my daughter. Once that situation had occurred, like a light bulb went off, and it was kind of like, you need to start thinking about what you want to do with your life. Bearing in mind I left school with no GCSEs.
Fuck the GCSE. Sometimes I find it so difficult to hold my mouth. Sorry, it's like
no, it's true.
It's like I got Tourette's. It's like that's crazy.
No, it's true what you're saying too. It's true what you're saying too.
I'm so sorry. That just came out
mad. No, natural. Natural. That ain't the first time you said that.
But yeah.
At this time as well, I'm kind of, my life is changing in the fact that I'm starting to get my daughter back now, so I'm starting to have her on the weekends, and I'm starting to see more of her, so I'm starting to incorporate her now in my life. So anything I do, I have to make sure it incorporates her and involves her. Loved criminology. The whole 3 years, I actually embraced university, was student representative. I was one of them ones, like sitting at the front of the class. Always asking the teacher, what can I do to refine this or make it a first? I don't want a 2-1 anymore, I want a first. So I kind of sailed through that. Because of the enjoyment of it and because of the support that I had as well. I need to hone in on the support from the teachers. I think
big them up, man.
It was the first time that I was acknowledged, like my work was acknowledged to say, you are capable. I mean, I had been told before, but I'd never received any help or support to show the capabilities, because I was starting to think that I weren't capable. So to hear someone say it, just show me what you mean so I can understand it as well. Do you know what I mean? And literature that I was reading, like I started to identify that there was a gap. Yes, there's support out there, but there's support out there for women that don't look like me. They're Eurocentric instead of being Afrocentric, them way there. So I started to think, no man, we're finding it hard to kind of beat the system or even navigate the system, because even when we're released, the opportunities that are available
different.
Or
if there's any at all.
Or we don't want to engage with it because you don't understand me. You know what I mean? You're a middle class white woman trying to tell me how I should take advantage of these opportunities.
You don't know them. You've never grown up. Like what people say. You don't even know what goes down in my environment.
Exactly.
Like the area, the blocks where I live. Like,
do you know what I mean? And at this time, through uni, I found out I was dyslexic.
Okay.
So things started to make sense. Do you know, like thinking that's why I was misbehaving at school. I needed extra time and extra support with the work.
Like
I was struggling.
Like Abigail, the mind is a very complex thing, innit? Even the older I get, I realize that there's a lot of like unanswered questions. There's a lot of questions that we need. There's a lot of things that we don't understand about the mind. And obviously that's even the beautiful thing about growth, isn't it? Like the older we grow, you learn about yourself, about how you, like things that took a lot of different things. So it's like, so imagine being a kid and it's like, yo, you haven't, your brain hasn't developed yet.
No.
Like you haven't really seen much of life to really know like who you are and all of these things. But it's like if teachers and other people that are experienced, they're not even gonna educate you or guide you to tell you this is what you're doing, this is why you're misbehaving. It's like it could be quite difficult, man.
Yeah. However, education is key.
No, for real.
So any kind of education, whether it's going to be used in the future or not, I feel like I'll always push that narrative. Like, just, cause my daughter always says to me as well, like she's doing her mocks now, and she's like, but when am I going to be using Pythagoras theory and all these kind of terminologies she uses? When am I going to use algebra, mum? And I want to be a sociologist, and I'm just like, listen, you never know what might come up. Do you get me? That might be £1 million question on who wants to be a millionaire. And then you never
actually.
You know, like, what? No, big and serious. I feel like school is the best years of your life, so just embrace it while you can, because once adulthood kicks in, reality kicks in. So like I was saying, so I've left school with no GCSE, so I just thought to myself, you know what, I was struggling to get a job. One of my friends said to me, who had been through the same kind of circumstance as myself, she said to me, why don't you just go to college and do an access course? I knew nothing about access.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Yeah. She said that way you'll get your A levels that you need, or equivalent A levels to what you need in order to get into higher education. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I decided to, you know, just throw myself into education, and I started to love education, which was mad. But I think that came with maturity, and I think that's one of the things that helped me to transition from being an offender to then an ex-offender, or I like to say a survivor of the criminal justice system.
Yeah, I like that one.
Because I was mature now, and my circumstances had changed, and I now had a young mouth to feed. So therefore, because of the change in dynamics, I think that's what helped me to kind of love education a bit more as well, because I knew what I'd get out of it long term.